Hi guys, this is Mario with Florida Flex, and today we're going to be unpacking the Silhouette Cameo. So right here is the way that this box pretty much arrives from the factory, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get everything out of the box so that we could go through the process of setting it up, downloading the software, and going through everything that comes in here. So the first thing that you guys are gonna see is gonna be the cutting mat, right? And a very important piece of information is where we're gonna download the software. Then after that, we're gonna go over everything that's in here that we're gonna need to hook up the machine. I'm gonna go piece by piece. We got our blades, all the different ones. So we're gonna go over each of them right now and really go over. So right here, we have our USB cable. Now this machine can be hooked up by USB, but it can also be done with Bluetooth. So let's do the basic setup with the USB because it's important, since not everybody can run with a laptop and maybe they need a desktop computer to set it up. Okay, and then we're going to go over each blade and what it's for to your computer. We have a couple of other things that are in here that are we're going to talk about this blade, which is the blade that comes included with the machine. The machine has adapters for other types of blades. Those don't come included with the machine, but we can discuss that later when we talk about how to cut and how to do everything else. And then there's this nice little key that basically what it does is used to open the blade inside when it's time to do maintenance and clean up debris that goes inside of this blade. So that's everything for now that we can unpack immediately. Then we're going to move into getting the unit out of the box. So now what we're going to do is begin to take all these tapes that are here, right here on the back of the machine as well, this area right here, right? And we're going to go through every piece that this machine has with tape. So let's make sure that every piece is out. We got our roller right here. We'll look into that later. Everything pretty much out. Let me just give it a look. Make sure that there's nothing that we forgot. Okay, looks like we've taken everything out, and now we're ready to basically connect the machine. Okay guys, so we now have the unit completely unpacked and we have it pretty much ready for setup. What I wanted to tell you about this machine is that even though it looks very compact, it's excellent for all types of jobs. Whether you're a crafter or you want to open your business and you want to cut heat transfer vinyl, permanent sticker vinyl, anything that it's going to go on a shirt, or anything that you want to kind of personalize, cups and things like that, it's perfect for that. Okay, now the blade that comes with this machine, it's basically an auto blade, which means that it adjusts automatically, and we'll see that later in the video. For now, what I can tell you is that there's two positions here, and we're going to basically put our main blade on position number 1. Now, one of the things that happens a lot is that people don't open this piece right here to put it in. So we have to open, and then we have to slide it in. Now it has to basically come all the way down, and then we have to push the locking in place. If you don't hear that click, that means that the blade is still loose and it may not cut when you're actually sent the job later. So just make sure that this comes out, but it also goes back in, and you hear that click when you're basically doing that. And then now we're pretty much ready to plug it in. So right here we have our on and off, and then we have our USB cable, and then we have our power. So these are the two things we're going to need right here to get started. Power plug, and do this right here. Okay, and like I said before, you have basically a plug for the power, which is the one over here, and then you have this one to plug that in. So we're going to use our laptop to basically set it up, and let us get this thing plugged in, and then we'll get going. Okay guys, so now we're pretty much ready to download the software, install the software, and then we're going to connect the machine. All right, so this piece of information is the one that I mentioned to you guys earlier, that basically has the website where you can download the free software. This is a free software that comes with every Cameo. Remember that there are going to be multiple styles of Cameos. You have your Cameo 4, then you have your Plus, and then you have your Pro. So each one of those runs with the same software. So this is the place where you're gonna go ahead directly and get it. So we're gonna go online, and we're gonna go ahead and get that set up. So it lands us right on this page right here, which basically allows you to do your select your language, which it could be Spanish, it could be English. In this case, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna basically select the machine that we're gonna be doing. In this case, this is our Silhouette Cameo 4, okay? And we got lots of videos and things in here that are good for us to know, but we wanna go straight to software, and under software, get software, and we're gonna go ahead and download, whether we're on a Mac or whether we're in a PC. We're going to download obviously our Windows, because that's what I'm running right now, but if you have a Mac, then it'll be Mac. Okay, we're going to select that, and as you can see, it's already downloading right here. So basically what I want you guys to be aware is that we want to register the product, okay? And registering the product gives you a lot of different features like warranty and access to the gallery where you guys can download different types of pre-cut designs that are included when you purchase the unit. So now that the file completely downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and open. There we go. And we go next. It's going to place it in your menu. We're going to go next. We're going to go install. And once that's installed, then we'll do the final steps of the setup. In the box, and also in the back of the unit, there is the serial number that you're going to need to basically set up the warranty part of the installation. You can get that from the box, or you can just go to the back of the unit and get that. So it's not a problem. That we can basically access. Here we go. Now we're going to be able to launch it. And we want to click check for updates to make sure that your unit's running the way it should be. Allow it to communicate. Agree to the software. And we're off to open and start cutting. So basically right here, we're ready to go. I like to say sometimes here that some people are getting an upgrade from the unit, so you can basically skip through a lot of the startups by going and selecting professional. But if you're a beginner or you're an experienced, let's just put experience, and it'll show you what are the new features that we're doing right here. And we're going to skip to design. And now we're going to go ahead and do the step that we need to do, which is to set up the unit and connect it to the computer. Okay guys, so we're done setting up the program. So now what's next is to connect it to the computer, okay? So we're going to take our USB cable, and we're going to basically bring it right over here to this section right here, which is this spot right here, okay? So double check to make sure that you are entering it correctly, and we're going to use this end for the computer right here. Find your USB there. Okay, so now that we have the unit connected, we're going to go ahead and turn it on right here. We're going to go ahead and connect it. She does have a little registration movement, and now we're going to go ahead and go back to the software, and we're going to look for that connection to make sure that she is being connected. A design, a store, and you have library, which is the section where you get your free designs. And then under send, we're going to basically look down here to make sure that the unit is connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right down here. I already have a message from the unit telling me to check the firmware, and we're going to check for that right now online, and she's going to look for the latest firmware update. And once that is done, then we're going to be able to proceed into using the program. So this might take a couple of minutes. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about other areas. We want to leave the unit on, so make sure we don't shut it off. And we're not going to get out of this section, but I do want to see you already looking at areas that are of interest. Like, for example, the section right here, which is the carriage 1. Like I mentioned before, that carriage 1 is where your main blade is set up. Okay, and your carriage 2 doesn't really have anything here because we don't have a blade of any sort in that other one. So everything that you're going to be doing is going to be done right up here, from the type of material that you're going to cut and the type of settings that Silhouette actually selects for you based on whatever material you're going to be using. Okay, now that we have installed and connected the unit, we're going to go to our little cutting mat that comes here with the machine. Okay, going to have this ready. This little thing has a bit of a liner, which is basically, it's to protect the sticky part. But before we get to cutting, there's a couple of more things I want to discuss in the area of the computer. So let's switch back to the computer here, and I want to show you guys something real quick. If you notice right down here, there's a bit of an icon at the bottom here that has a picture, a little picture of the Cameo, and it has the number 1 on there. That means that the unit has already a connection made to USB, right? So we're going to get to that in a minute, but I want to show you guys too that this unit, in the event that you cannot, for some reason, connect it with a USB that comes included, you could connect it via Bluetooth. So I want to go ahead and switch back to the unit for a moment, and I want to show you guys right here on the display of the unit, you have this Bluetooth button right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on, and then once it's on, it's going to show in blue right here. So let's see if we can find it back over here again. If we come here to the Bluetooth, right here to our connections, turn on the Bluetooth in your unit. If you don't get your Bluetooth to pick up immediately, switch back to your settings, add a device, and let's see if we could. So once we have it, here we go. There is our Bluetooth. We're going to go ahead and connect that, and it's going to look for the signal, and it's ready to actually work either via Bluetooth or via USB. So both systems can be accessed right through here. Okay, so we're going to stay with the USB since we have the USB already. So that's the one we're going to be working with. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the unit, and we have this pretty much ready. We're going to get into the different materials. We're going to get into the different types of settings for every vinyl. But for now, we're going to go back to the unit for a moment so we can discuss how we're going to basically load the material.